Hi there, how are you doing? So this is just a random reading. I don't know, I felt like doing a reading and I decided not to try to make it fit any sort of parameters, time frame, sign, whatever, just that it will hopefully reach the people that if you get some messages out of it, great. If it doesn't resonate, then it wasn't for you. If you hear something that you're like, I don't really like that, they're just cards. They're just pieces of paper with pictures and words on them, and not to give your power away to anything, and especially not something like tarot cards. I love tarot cards. They're fun. I I've seen them be amazingly accurate and helpful for self-discovery, but in the end, they're just pieces of thick paper with pictures on it, right? So I'm using my oldest deck. First deck I ever got was the Ulster Crowley Thoth deck. Thoth, re-say it. I don't know how to say it. Some people really, really don't like this deck because of him. I hear a lot of conflicting things about him, but this is the deck I've had the longest, and I felt it served me. God, how long have I had this? I got it when I was... It's been at least 30 years, probably. Okay, and they're not really wanting to come out, so talk amongst yourselves. How's the weather there? It's snowing here in Vermont. Hope you're doing well. I really don't want to force them to come out, so okay. So this one. So I'm just gonna flip them over. They're kind of big. I like big cards, but I like big cards and I don't really have the space. Okay. I always say I'm gonna make my displays simple, and then I end up putting all sorts of crystals out. So we have the Five of Swords has come out. It's called Defeat, and then the Death card. It's making me think of, I think it's Warren Buffett, but I can't remember which billionaire, but he said that he doesn't like to back anyone that hasn't failed, because failure is such an incredible learning experience, and that maybe failure should be looked at in a different way, because you just gain so much from the experience if you can look at it in the right way, you know what I'm saying, and not just focus on something didn't work out, but okay, why didn't it work out? What did I learn from it? And can I actually make something better or do better? Or now that I have this knowledge, this wisdom to carry me forward, I can then use it in the future. And it's interesting because the death, if you can do that, then you can experience the death card, which is transforming your life. And sometimes it takes a little bit of a kick in the ass or getting knocked down a spell, I don't know why I said spell, a notch a little bit, to kind of have that aha moment and to say, oh, whoa, okay, that wasn't maybe tons of fun, but I will do better moving forward. Then you have another major. You have what is called art. I should hold these up for you. So this is what the Five of Swords looks like. Actually, you know what I can do? Well, I didn't really set it up. I could put these up here and then layer the other cards on top. The Death card. And this is called art in this deck. The Temperance card. The Five of Swords is dealing with someone that right fights and is just not willing to compromise, doesn't have your best interest at heart. And being able to recognize that and move away from that and not subject yourself to that. And it brings your life into balance. So maybe in the past, when you've had relationships, you've really sort of put your life on hold or tried to mold yourself to be what that person wanted. And tolerated things that you really shouldn't have tolerated because on some level you didn't feel worthy at that point in your life, that you could have this, that you deserve to be treated with respect and treated well and have needs and wants, and feel that you're able to share that without fear or, someone dismissing you and not valuing your wants and needs and thoughts and feelings. And so temperance is bringing more balance into our life. Yeah, so if I have a new situation, a new relationship of any kind, that's great, but I'm not going to lose myself in it. I'm not going to give away. I'm not going to move my own goalposts, my boundaries and my self-respect and my self-confidence in order to be with this person or make them happy. We've had the Death card come out again now here. So the next layer of cards here over the Five of Swords is the Seven of Swords. So this is a person who was not truthful, was sneaky, was selfish. They behaved badly, and you waited around for them. I guess this is kind of turning into a love reading. You waited around for someone and tolerated their behavior. Maybe they would, I don't know, stay out late, work late, and you would wait around. And I think, that was a hard lesson to learn. But then the Eight of Wands, it's like once you realized it, maybe they cheated, maybe they were just particularly mean, or maybe someone reflected something back to you, a friend, and you were like, oh shit, you're right, this is not cool. I would never tolerate that. If I saw this happening to a friend and they were dating someone or like someone or putting their life on hold for someone that was treating them like shit, I would be, what are you doing? How can you do this? How can you let someone treat you like this? Maybe you were able to return that on you and say, yeah, so why am I now, allowing someone to do this to me? This Eight of Wands is moving forward very quickly. So I feel like once you had that aha moment, you were able to move on really fast and bring your life into balance and learned a lesson of, I'm no longer waiting around for someone, especially someone that's not upfront and truthful. I'm also not going to try to tie someone down that doesn't want to be tied down. This Temperance card is Sagittarius. They're expansive. They like to be free. They like to roam. It doesn't mean they're not faithful or anything, but you don't want to, a Sag isn't, you can't control a Sag. They don't want to be controlled. And when you think about it, no one really wants to be controlled either. So extending that, not trying to force something, to control something to be the ideal, instead accepting it for what it is, seeing that clearly and using that information to make choices about how you behave. So then we have the Seven of Stones, Seven of Pentacles. You were, again, trying to figure this out. Is it me? Is it them? Maybe they were very blamey and really skilled at making you feel like you were being ridiculous, you were being jealous, you were being dramatic, you're being all these things. And it started to beat you down. I mean, in this version of this card, this beautiful card, can you see this? I'm just going to move closer. My whole plan of what I was going to do changed. My whole plan of what I was going to do changed. So that may be hard. I moved for someone once. I didn't want to. I felt like we hadn't even been seeing each other a year, and I allowed myself to be. I allowed myself to be talked into it because on some level I wanted to, and there was also a job opportunity. And things got really weird really fast within about a month. And then in 2 months into changing my whole life, leaving a good job, I was very happy where I was. It was like the happiest I had been in my life to that point. And I felt like the floor just dropped out from underneath me, and I resisted against it. Like for a year. I mean, I bought a piece of land, I bought my own house. Like I moved forward, but I was very much stuck in that. And then I finally was able to make sense of it. And that was my moment where I said, I am never waiting around for someone else again. They could have had me and they didn't want me, and that is on them. And of course, it's that thing where they would just every once in a while, like, send an email. It was kind of before texting even. This was like 20, 21, 22 years ago. Or get together with me, yeah, right, sleep with me, right? When but they didn't want. And I have this therapist, and she said, they don't want you, Jen. He just wants you waiting in the wings. It's a nice ego boost. He likes knowing you're there, but he doesn't want you because if he really wanted you, he'd be with you. And boy, that really struck me, and it was so true. And so it was a powerful, like the death card, this transformation, a powerful learning experience about gauging whether or not to wait, to give people time and space. And I think in some area you had really given them way more time and your patience than required, than you should have in retrospect. Oh, here's the death card again on the death. Yeah, again, may not have been a great situation, but it transformed you. And you're more confident. You're a different person. You're a different person, but a different person that's more focused on themselves, more focused on knowing who they are and what they want, and less focused on the other person. It doesn't mean in any way that you're selfish. It means having boundaries and having a life. And if someone comes in, your life doesn't get put on hold for that other person, because the right person and a quality person and a person that appreciates you is okay with you not being available 100% of the time. And sometimes too, that gets a little bit old. I don't know. I don't necessarily want someone that's just waiting around, waiting to see what I'm going to do. And it's like, okay, you don't have to be underneath my feet all the time either. And this gorgeous magician card. I mean, what a beautiful way to end this group of cards. I am going to pull a couple more. The magician says, you as you are right this moment in time, you are worthy. You have everything to offer someone. It isn't when you lose 10 pounds. It isn't when you have that job and you make that amount of money or buy that house or have that person on your arm or, reach that milestone. You are worthy right this minute. And learning how to appreciate that and cultivate that and build upon that. Build upon who you are as a person, standing alone, your relationship with yourself. We got two. And that's how you transform. That's what those death card transformations are all about. Is this right? There we go. Okay. Angel of inner strength. It is safe for me to be powerful in loving ways. I am magnificent in every way. I have the strength to do anything I set out to do with loving intention. I am grateful for the courage to be all that I can be. Yeah. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Rhodochrosite. I guarantee you I butchered that. I've never seen this. I've never heard of this that I remember. And look at this gorgeous pink color. Really beautiful. Do you realize that you are magnificent? See, you didn't before and you do now. I'm not reading that. That's what I'd say. Oh, my fingernails really. Those readers have those beautifully manicured fingernails. Believe in your magnificence and embrace your power. Know that you are strong enough to set boundaries with others exactly and assert yourself in a loving manner. Definitely. And that you allow yourself to be who you truly are, a loving and magnificent being. And you don't have to change for anyone. Exactly. Clear quartz. I have a shite load of clear quartz. There's some. Are you trying to gain clarity? Do things seem hazy and dark right now? Is your path unclear or uncertain? Go within to see the positive in all circumstances. Focus on the matter at hand. Maintain loving thoughts surrounding your current life situation. Angel of Clarity. I see my life situation clearly and from a greater perspective. I am focused on all that I do. I am lovingly conscious in every action I take. I proceed with a greater understanding of what is required of me. I like that. Family. This situation is rooted in an emotional experience with a family member, which can help you to understand and heal, like a codependency. I'm saying that, not the card. In your mind and heart, surround this person, yourself, and the experience with calming blue light and many angels. Be open to the gifts within the situation and allow yourself to feel peace. Yeah, it was a real growing experience from you, and that's really interesting that you may be seeing some patterns of things you experienced in the past. Maybe even some therapy. You went to therapy after this. Like, why could this person be so mean to me? I tried so hard, and that's realizing that maybe you had a critical parent or something, or a critical someone you looked up to, or someone said something really critical to you. It only takes one time, especially when you're a kid, even as an adult, to really sort of set in and take hold, and you start believing it for some reason. And so really getting to the heart of something like that is what that death card is, that enabled you to transform and to let that go. Because sometimes re-examining things like that, especially things from childhood as an adult, you can put it in a different context where you're like, oh, I can see why that I got so focused on that, and so that made such an impression on me. But now, looking back and as an adult and thinking about how old I was in my life experience and what is age appropriate expectations for someone of that age, thinking of your own kids or friends' kids or whatever, nieces, nephews, and thinking, wait a minute, I've done that with my son. Like, oh my God, I was looking at that age when this happened, and like, holy shit, they're so young, like, and I thought I was so old, so I think something like that could really, you realize how you allowed yourself to gravitate towards that sort of relationship, but in the looking at it now and examining it in context of everything, you're able to say, oh, I get that now. I see that now. And I see why I need to let that go, because it just isn't accurate. It was a fear and, something that I'm able now as an adult to move through and let go of. Okay, so that is your random reading for anyone who watched that. If it resonated, great, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care.